Hi, everyone. I am Savannah Mojikanovich, the Outreach Coordinator for the Fox Valley Advanced Care Planning Partnership. We educate and encourage conversations about planning ahead for unexpected healthcare decisions. Today, I have Bobbie Thompson with me, who has worked with retirees for more than 30 years, whether as a social worker, in nursing, as a family and professional caregiver, or administrator of physicians' practices at Theta Care. She has approached each of these positions with the same focus, empowerment, active aging, and vibrant living. Bobbie has built multi-level retirement communities and individual family-style care strengths for those with advanced dementia. She left her leadership position at Theta Care to be a live-in caregiver for her grandmother, and her journey has eventually led her to the Fox Valley Advanced Care Planning Partnership as executive director and a regular presenter and contributor for topics on aging on social media. So, Bobbie, can you tell us a little bit more about the journey that brought us here today?
Sure. Thanks, Savannah, for inviting me to join you. Well, as you said, I have worked with older adults and their family members for over 30 years, and I have seen old and I've seen not old. In fact, I would ask everybody that's listening today to just pause for a second and think about, what does old look like? What does old look like? I have met 40-year-old people that are truly old, and I have met 99-year young people that are not yet old. My grandmother was one of those people, so I was fortunate to spend time with her. But the journey has built up from learning from all of those folks along the way. And I'm very pleased to be here today talking about this program because it indeed helps people live better lives.
Fantastic. So, what's the history behind navigating longer lives? Like, what are the key points to living longer and living well?
Mhm. Well, I've seen a lot of different programs for retirees through the years, and I've participated in some of them. And there's a lot of different key points. Honestly, each one maybe twists it a little bit different than the other, but emotional well-being is at top of the list. And here's what I mean. I have worked with people who have physical limitations or cognitive limitations or changes that they didn't want to have happen in life, but our perspective makes such a huge difference that they can still navigate through aging so well when their mindset is in the right place. Certainly a component of active aging or staying very engaged in your aging is being a part of the community, the greater community, your family as a sense of community, perhaps your church or other civic groups, having strong social connectedness, keeping those relationships alive has actually been proven. I saw one study that said you're 19% less likely to have a heart attack or a stroke. I'll take it. So I'm staying socially connected. And physically well-being varies for all of us. Some of us do have maybe genetic or developed health issues that impacted our physical being, but we can still do the most with what we've got. And so navigating longer lives means that where statistically we're seeing that people are living longer. For example, in 1900, the average life expectancy was about 75 years. In 2019, the average life expectancy was closer to 80 at 78.8. And guys, you got to really listen in because men statistically have a higher mortality rate at any age than women. So some of these tips might be very helpful for you. But mentioning the other key points, physical well-being, spiritual well-being, and then most important of all, realizing your gift or your contribution to life and making a better world.
Great points, Bobbie. You've been a speaker many times. One of your presentations is called Successful Aging. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. Like I said, I've been very fortunate to work with many people of different chronological ages, but nonetheless very young. I'll give you an example. Ray is a fellow I used to work with in one of the retirement settings that I worked in. He was in his upper 90s. He was legally blind. He could not hear at all, was completely deaf in one ear, and only could pick up the smallest hint with assistive devices. He said to me one time, "I don't know why God doesn't just take me." And I sat with him because I know that was a low moment. But we got to a place where I said, "Ray, every time I come into the building and I see your smiling face," he got to where he knew the stomp of my footsteps. "And I see your smiling face and I know that you're here just to say hello. It brightens my day. And for some reason, God hasn't taken you yet, so you must have something else to do." It taught me a lesson, Ray taught me a lesson, that whatever we have, in spite of what we don't have, whatever the upsides of our life are, we can focus on those things and really bless other people or make a positive impact in the world. And worry, on the flip side, worry, negativity, people that never tend to see what they have, really that zaps the energy out of us. It actually shortens our life. It reminds me of a story. If we have just a second, Savannah, I'll tell you a story. You know, I always talk in stories. So, two little boys, one's an optimist, one's a pessimist. They were set in separate rooms. The doors were closed. The researchers came back in 15 minutes and checked on both boys. And the little pessimist was in the room in the corner with a big angry face on him, and they said, "What's the matter?" And he said, "Well, that toy over there is missing a piece, and that one broke when I started to play with it." And he listed off a litany of all the terrible things that had happened to him and how his life was really, really miserable. They went to the door next door where the optimist was, and they opened it slowly, and inside they saw dung flinging left and right and up and over and all around the room. And the little boy had a huge pile of you know what in the middle of the room. And they said, "What are you doing?" "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I knew with this much dung, there had to be a pony here somewhere." And so we all have a challenge every single day, sometimes every single minute, to look for the pony and remember that the worry and the negativity doesn't make our world a better place, and it doesn't make our life expectancy any longer. In fact, it shortens it. I also like to talk with people about advanced care planning because a lot of people worry about what's going to happen down the road. And it's in the back of their mind. It's wearing on their energy. It's frustrating. It's maybe even a little scary. But once you put your planning in place, or at least talk with those you love, and then start to make those documents out, you'll notice a lightening, less stress on your shoulders. And so that peace of mind is something that can help with life expectancy.
Great story, Bobbie. Very cute. Um, so what are you doing now that helps people live more engaged in their lives?
Well, I'm thrilled to be a part of the Fox Valley Advanced Care Planning Partnership. And so one thing that I spend a major portion of my week on is helping inform people, educate people, take the scary part out of making your advanced care planning. And what is that? That's the documents that you need in place so that if you had an unexpected serious illness or an accident or some impact on your health, and you couldn't direct your own plans or what you did or didn't want, you'd have somebody else that was already aware, and they could step in as your advocate, or as the state calls it, an agent, and make those decisions just like your voice was being heard. So I spend a big portion of my week on that and love to help people understand what those documents look like and how to complete those successfully. But I also have added walking to my schedule. I've tried to do a little bit better on how I eat. I'm not going to say that I didn't have a corn dog on the weekend, because I did. But, looking at some of the same factors that we're going to be talking about in the Aging Mastery program that you'll be leading, Savannah. So those are some of the ways right now that I'm helping people live more vibrantly and also have a longer life, if you will.
Fantastic. Just great. Thank you, Bobbie, for all of your insights. It was great to share some of your expert knowledge. And in our next coming segment, we will hear from Katie Gellings from the UW Extension Office on what it means to plan ahead. Don't forget to subscribe to follow for more content. Thank you. Bye.